taking the field behind me. On behalf of the Commanding General of the Maneuver Center of Excellence, Major General Gary Brito, I am happy to welcome you to beautiful Fort Benning, Georgia, to celebrate the tremendous achievements of your soldiers. So the band and I are about to come out on the field and put on a little pre-show to set the celebratory environment for today's great occasion. And we are looking for some audience participation.
All right.
Yeah? Oh. I will find you. So the third song that we do is Georgia on My Mind. The reason why we do Georgia on My Mind is I promise you that after going through months and months of some of the most demanding training in the Department of Defense, Georgia will always be on your soldiers. But during Georgia on My Mind, we have our world-famous Georgia kick line. Y'all have heard of it, right? No? Okay, so that's why we need your help to make it a little bit more world-famous. What we do during Georgia on My Mind is we invite you down onto the field that your soldiers graduating on today to join us in a fun little kick line. And you don't have to do rockets or anything crazy. You know, whatever speed works for you works. But it's a great opportunity to come down. You can get Facebook, Instagram famous, and it's certainly a Fort Benning checklist that you have an opportunity to participate in today. So I look forward to seeing you right down here on the field. And again, welcome to beautiful Fort Benning, and congratulations, and welcome to our Army family.
The Maneuver Center of Excellence Band's history dates back to 1916, when the band was first organized in El Paso, Texas as the 34th Infantry Band of the 34th Infantry Regiment. During his time with the 34th Infantry Regiment, the band earned campaign participation credit in World War I in the Reign of France. The band served for many years in Fort Benning, Georgia, until it was inactivated in June of 1940. In October of 1942, the band was reactivated at Schofield Barracks, Hawaii, and this time aligned with the 136th Infantry Regiment. The band was called on to support overseas efforts during wartime before being deactivated again in December of 1946. After several reorganizations and redesignations, the band was finally activated once again on Fort Benning, Georgia in 1955 as the 283rd Army Band. In 2009, during Fort Benning's transformation to Fort Knox, the band was officially designated as the Maneuver Center of Excellence Band. Today, on behalf of all the men and women of today's Army, for they are the strength of the nation, ready today and prepared for tomorrow. Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Staff Sergeant Richard Sharpe. I'm the vocalist for the MCOE band, and we are excited to be here with you this morning to celebrate this momentous occasion for you and your soldier. But what we want to know right now is how many of you are excited to see those soldiers march across the field this morning? And I know there's 2,000 people in this audience right now. And I've heard audiences of 500 sound way louder than that. And I want you to get those soldiers across the field pumped up to get across this field this morning. So I'm going to try this one more time. And I'm going to count to 3. And I want you to give me as much noise as possible. 1, 2, 3. So much. I'd ask you all to please rise and join with us in singing God Bless America.
Underway. There are concessions, restrooms, and a smoking area located behind the grandstands. We ask that you please do not smoke in the grandstands. There will be a live video of this graduation streaming on the National Infantry Museum Facebook page. Make sure to text your friends and family and let them know that they too can see their soldiers graduate in real time on the National Infantry Museum Facebook page. Visit Mahone Video Productions, located on the flag walk in the white tent, to order a video copy of today's graduation and yesterday's Turning Blue ceremony. Following the ceremony, we invite you and your soldier to explore all that the National Infantry Museum has to offer. On display are countless artifacts detailing the history of the infantry in a world-class and award-winning facility. In addition, there are several attractions to entertain and educate. From our meticulously restored World War II street to the VR simulators that put you in the boots of our nation's finest. With our giant screen theater that screens historical documentaries and our Global War on Terrorism Memorial, the National Infantry Museum is a place to remember and appreciate the importance of our military and the infantry in particular in maintaining our freedoms. Also, it is a free museum with a suggested $5 donation. We thank you for attending today. We thank our veterans in attendance for their service, and we congratulate today's graduating soldiers.
Distinguished guests, friends and family members of Able Company 1st Battalion, 9th Infantry Regiment, Delta Company 2nd Battalion, 9th Infantry Regiment, and Fighter Company 2nd Battalion, 54th Infantry Regiment. On behalf of Major General Brito and Command Sergeant Major Burzak of the United States Maneuver Center of Excellence, and Brigadier General Hodney and Command Sergeant Major Selstein of the United States Army Infantry School, we welcome you to today's graduation ceremony. Thank you for taking the time to share this great day with us. Before we start today's ceremony, would the veterans in the audience please stand? Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in giving time service to For over 243 years, American infantrymen have quietly gone about their duty that has taken them to historic battlefields on many of the Earth's continents. Infantrymen stood fast on the bloody battlefields within our own borders in creating a republic and saving a union. They defeated our nation's enemies in Mexico, Cuba, and China. These warriors scorned the Kaiser in the trenches of France and defeated fascism in Germany and Italy. They set the rising sun of Imperial Japan on 1,000 islands in the Pacific and stood firm against the communists in the mountains and in the snows of Korea and the steamy jungles of Southeast Asia. Infantrymen won the Cold War, preserved peace in far-reaching places like South Korea and Europe, by their vigilant presence and spread freedom in Grenada, Panama, Kuwait, and Somalia with their sweat and blood. Infantrymen left the comfort of their families and endured the most demanding conditions of cold and heat, of dust and mud, of desert and jungle to fight our nation's wars. These young soldiers soon to be in front of you today, all volunteers, join the Army and the infantry in a time of war. They chose to serve their nation knowing that they may be deployed to Afghanistan by their commander-in-chief. To commemorate the sacrifices of those who went before and to tangibly link the commitment of today's soldiers with their legendary predecessors, this beautiful parade ground was seeded with soil taken from significant battlefields in our nation's history. On March 19, 2009, a hero descendant of a hero of these battles spread soil in the very place where soldiers will walk. These battles include Yorktown, Antietam, Soissons, Craigor, Normandy, Santorini, Korea, LZX-Ray, Iraq, and Afghanistan. When these young soldiers march proudly past you, they will actually be walking on the ground hallowed by their infantry forefathers. One of these leaders was Second Lieutenant Daniel K. Inouye, later Senator Inouye from Hawaii. On 12 September 2014, soil was spread on the parade field from Santorini, Italy, and the parade field was officially named Inouye Field in his honor. In 1997, he was awarded the Medal of Honor for his heroic actions on 21 April 1945 at Santorini. As a platoon leader in the 442nd Regimental Combat Team, and despite being critically wounded, Second Lieutenant Inouye, by his gallant, aggressive tactics and his indomitable leadership, led his platoon to advance through fierce resistance and capture the heavily defended fortified ridge known as Col Mastello outside the town of Santorini, Italy. The purpose of today's ceremony is to recognize the commitment of those soldiers in formation today who have chosen to serve their country as infantrymen. This review is the last official formation of the training cycle. Not everyone successfully completes this difficult period of training, but those in formation today represent disciplined, motivated, and physically fit soldiers who exemplify the Army's 7 core values: loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage. These soldiers are imbued with the war ethos and display the tenets of putting the mission first, never accepting defeat, never quitting, and never leaving behind a fallen comrade. This is an important day and they can take great pride in their accomplishments. This ceremony marks the culmination of months of long and arduous training, the results of which are these superb infantry soldiers prepared to take their places in infantry units around the world. Like you, we are proud of their accomplishments. Ladies and gentlemen, during the next few moments there will be loud noises and smoke from the use of pyrotechnics. On the far side of the parade field, World War II company streets serve as a constant reminder of the time-honored traditions and values of America's greatest generation, those infantrymen who walked before us. In just a few moments, out from the past will emerge our country's next greatest generation, today's infantry warriors. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Infantry Rifle Squad, the foundation of the Army's decisive force and the embodiment of the warrior ethos. Infantrymen have the most challenging job of any member of the armed forces. They carry the fight to the enemy around the world. They're the standard bearer for all the armies of the world, leading by example in the fight to defend freedom against ruthless terror. With the increased firepower and lethality of today's weapons, every infantryman must be trained to standard in over 200 tasks to defeat our enemies on any battlefield. The infantrymen graduating today are accomplished marksmen, able to engage the enemy day and night, and understand how to shoot, move, and communicate as a team. They are adaptable warriors who can fight as a mechanized force, from strikers or Bradleys, from the skies as airborne air assaults, and whose training is the basis for our elite special operations warriors. Most importantly, they are patriots. who in a time of war raised their right hand and swore an oath to God and country, to defend the Constitution of the United States against any enemy, if called upon to fight building to building in Baghdad or Fallujah in Iraq, to clear the ridges of Mazar-i Sharif or Jalalaban in Afghanistan, or to liberate and provide security in the Horn of Africa or the Caribbean. These borders make the difference in the global war on terror. Ladies and gentlemen, the Infantry Rifle Squad. The squad is led by a staff sergeant, who is armed with the M4 carbine. The M4 carbine is the latest evolution of the M16 family and is designed for use in vehicles and close quarters combat. The squad has 2 fire teams. Each fire team is led by a sergeant. They are also armed with the M4 carbine. This carbine is fully modular with an integrated receiver rail system that can mount the M68 close combat optic, the AM PEC-15 infrared laser designator used to engage enemy targets at night. Each fire team has 1 automatic rifleman. They are armed with the M249 squad automatic weapon. This is a squad vehicle machine gun. It has a sustained rate of fire of 85 rounds per minute and weighs 17 pounds. Each fire team has 1 grenadier. They are armed with the M4 rifle and the M320 grenade launcher. This launcher fires a variety of 40mm grenades to include high explosive, illumination, colored smoke, and buckshot. The M320 provides an invaluable indirect fire capability to the infantry squad. The remaining soldier in each fire team is the rifleman. They are armed with the M4 carbine and the M136 AT-4 anti-tank launcher. The AT-4 fires an 84mm shape charge capable of feeding up to 14 inches of rolled homogeneous steel and breaching bunkers or masonry walls in urban structures. Additionally, each one of these soldiers is wearing the advanced combat helmet with the AM PBS-14 binocular night vision device. This night vision device allows the soldiers to see in low or no light conditions. Coupled with their laser designator on their weapons, they can place effective fire on all targets at night. On their torso, they're wearing the Improved Outer Tactical Vest, or IOTV, which consists of 4 armored plates, capable of stopping small arm fire and fragmentation. Additionally, they're wearing ballistic eye protection, knee and elbow pads, and a water hydration system. Ladies and gentlemen, all members of today's squads are from Able Company 1st Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment, Delta Company 2nd Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment, and Fighter Company 2nd Battalion, 54th Infantry Regiment. This is the modern day warrior, armed and equipped to fight and win anywhere, anytime, and any type of terrain against any enemy. These infantrymen are trained and ready to defend our country and preserve our way of life. Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in a round of applause for the United States Army Infantry Squad. Ladies and gentlemen, now returning to the parade field is the United States Army Maneuver Center of Excellence Band, led by Drum Major 1st Sergeant Bill Holmes, commanded and directed by Captain Aaron Morris. Ladies and gentlemen, now marching on to the parade field are the infantrymen from Able Company, 1st Battalion, 9th Infantry Regiment. Delta Company, 2nd Battalion, 9th Infantry Regiment. And Fighter Company, 2nd Battalion, 54th Infantry Regiment. The company commander for Able Company is Captain Stephen Godsmith, and the company first sergeant is First Sergeant Brandon Reed. The company commander for Delta Company is Captain Michael Derrick, and the company first sergeant is First Sergeant Benjamin Collins. The company commander for Fire Company is Captain Joseph Nyan, and the company first sergeant is First Sergeant Christopher Lyons. The commander and troops for today's ceremony is Major Michelle Napier, Executive Officer of 1st Battalion, 9th Infantry Regiment. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the invocation and remain standing for the arrival of the official party. Captain Joel Kelly, 1st Battalion, 9th Infantry Regiment Chaplain will offer the invocation.
Let us pray. Lord, thank you for this great Army Day. As I look across these hallowed grounds, I see some of the bravest men and women our great country has to offer. As these soldiers take that great and noble task to defend our nation from all enemies and to stand against tyranny, We pray that you bless these guardians of freedom for their patriotism and courage. We ask that you bless your drill sergeants who devoted countless hours to make these infantrymen ready for that great and noble task. As always, Father, bless each family member here today who are also now a part of our Army family. And for each, bless and do more in their lives than they can think or imagine. Amen.
The official party for today's ceremony consists of the 1st Battalion, 9th Infantry Regiment Commander, Lieutenant Colonel Lee S. Wiles, and the Battalion Command Sergeant Major Jeremy S. Brennan. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the national anthem. Gentlemen not in uniform, please remove your headgear. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. The infantry soldiers graduating today come from many parts of the United States. The flags of the 50 states and 6 territories displayed at the museum symbolize a broad base of our national defense. The company standing before you has conducted a turning blue ceremony, because blue is the color of the infantry. This ceremony culminated with each graduating soldier receiving the coveted symbols of an infantryman. The cross rifle insignia with blue background disc and blue infantry cord. Turning blue signifies the rite of passage of these soldiers to carry on the finest traditions of the infantry. The infantry cross rifles, blue disc, and blue cord mark these soldiers as qualified to be the finest soldiers in the world, United States Army infantrymen. The soldiers most responsible for the training of these infantrymen are the drill sergeants, who are carefully selected by the Department of the Army. The drill sergeant campaign hat and badge have been a stoic symbol of professionalism and pride since 1962. At this time, the drill sergeant cycle for Able Company, 1st Battalion, 9th Infantry Regiment, Staff Sergeant Ryan Baxter will recite the drill sergeant creed.
The drill sergeant creed. I am a drill sergeant. I will assist each individual in their effort to become a well-disciplined, physically and mentally fit soldier, capable of defeating any enemy on today's modern battlefield. I will instill pride in all I train, pride in self, in the Army, and in country. I will insist that each soldier meets and maintains the Army standards of military bearing and courtesy, consistent with the highest traditions of the U.S. Army. I will lead by example, never requiring a soldier to attempt any task I would not do myself. But first, last, and always, I am an American soldier, sworn to defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, both foreign and domestic. I am a drill sergeant. This will defend.
At this time, the official party will present the awards. The drill sergeants of the cycle and distinguished honor graduates will each receive the Army Achievement Medal, a one-year membership of the National Infantry Association, and plaques from the United States Armed Forces Association, the Non-Commissioned Officers Association, and Mahone Productions for outstanding performance, as well as a gift card from Ranger Joe's. Receiving the Drill Sergeant Cycle Award from Able Company, 1st Battalion, 9th Infantry Regiment, is Staff Sergeant Ryan Baxter from Valley Springs, California. Staff Sergeant Baxter's spouse, Megan, is being presented a bouquet of flowers in recognition of the constant support given to her husband. The distinguished honor graduate for Able Company, 1st Battalion, 9th Infantry Regiment, is Specialist Christopher Williamson from San Antonio, Texas. Specialist Williamson's following assignment is Airborne School. Receiving the Drill Sergeant Cycle Award from Delta Company, 2nd Battalion, 9th Infantry Regiment, is Staff Sergeant Robert Figlioli from Fort Benning, Georgia. Staff Sergeant Figlioli's spouse, Meredith, is being presented a bouquet of flowers in recognition of the constant support to her husband. The distinguished honor graduate for Delta Company, 2nd Battalion, 9th Infantry Regiment, is Private Wolfgang Amos from Enterprise, Alabama. Private Amos' following assignment is the Ranger Assessment Selection Program. Receiving the Drill Sergeant Cycle Award from Fighter Company, 2nd Battalion, 54th Infantry Regiment, is Sergeant First Class Michael McMillan from Mechanicsville, New York. Sergeant First Class McMillan's spouse, Emily, is being presented a bouquet of flowers in recognition of the constant support given to her husband. The distinguished honor graduate for Fighter Company, 2nd Battalion, 54th Infantry Regiment, is Private First Class Ethan Goslin from Beverly, Massachusetts. Private Goslin's following assignment is Special Forces Assessment Selection. Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in giving these fine soldiers a round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, the commander of 1st Battalion, 9th Infantry Regiment, Lieutenant Colonel Wallace.
Hey, thanks. Good morning. What a crowd. Wow, there's like over 3,000 folks here. Thanks for your patience. Thanks for coming out today and to see your loved ones, and thanks for traveling so far away to see them graduate as United States Army infantry soldiers. But most importantly, thank you for entrusting your children to us that serve this nation so selflessly Each of you now are part of our Army family. So how about a round of applause for the over 3,000 newest Army families? Joe Jones, Colonel Voorhees, Lieutenant Colonel Atkinson, Lieutenant Colonel Ritchie, Command Sergeant Major Celestine, Sergeant Major Blunt, Sergeant Major Buddha, other distinguished guests, families, friends, welcome. Welcome to the graduation ceremony for the United States Army's newest infantry soldiers. Thank you all for being here with us today, and thank you for sharing this incredible milestone in the lives of all those you see on the field today. I'd also like to thank the National Infantry Museum for letting us use this amazing parade field. It's truly honored hallowed ground. I also want to acknowledge the Maneuver Center of Excellence Band. Aren't they fantastic? You look and sound superb, as always. Thanks so much. And hope you enjoyed Columbus yesterday, because I'd be remiss if I did not thank them for the almost 100 years of support that they've given us. From Normandy to the desert sands of Iraq and Afghanistan, they've always been with us in a great partnership and have given us tremendous support. Now, over the last 4 months, the young men before you have conducted an intense training cycle led by their outstanding drill sergeants. Drill sergeants that are transforming young civilians to soldiers. These drill sergeants serve as teacher, mentor, healer, counselor, coach, and the list goes on and on. But the most important thing is that each of them are all professional, non-commissioned officers committed to building the infantry of tomorrow. I am confident in saying to you that the soldiers standing on the field before you today are ready to defeat any challenge today and face any challenge tomorrow, directly because of the efforts and contributions of their drill sergeants. So ladies and gentlemen, please join me in a round of applause for our amazing drill sergeants. Now, standing before all of us are men from all walks of life, from every corner of our great nation, and some from foreign shores. And where do we get folks like this? Well, I believe that the answer is as simple as it is profound. You give them to us. The parents, families, brothers, sisters, grandparents, aunts and uncles, friends, you loan us these wonderful people. They are the fruit of our country, raised and nurtured in love and taught that Americans are supposed to have concern for the rights, the freedoms, and the needs of not only our own citizens, but of citizens around the world. At a time when it seems that values such as selfless service and duty, honor, integrity, personal courage, and just plain old hard work may have gone away, these young men before you, these are your sons. They have separated themselves from the mass and they volunteered to serve our nation in a time of war. For most of these young men, the past 14 weeks of training has represented the most significant challenge that they faced, and I can tell you that each of them have overcome. Today, these young men stand before you no longer as individuals, but as a team of infantry soldiers trained and ready to join the ranks of the most powerful and professional military in the history of our world. So to the soldiers graduating today as part of the 19th Infantry Regiment and part of the 54th Infantry Regiment, you now join that long line of infantry soldiers who have served our nation so well. You join the ranks of infantry across the country and around the world. I want to leave you with one final thought. Right now, you are standing on a field that is seeded with the soil of great battlefields. You are flanked to your right by a memorial park, and to your left, the Global War on Terrorism Memorial and our amazing Infantry Museum. And behind you, and ladies and gentlemen, in front of you, are the barracks that housed the heroes that 74 years ago literally saved our world. We are all surrounded by the reminders of the ones who gave the ultimate sacrifice. Their spirits and their memory remind us all that we must continue to guard freedom and democracy. And we must do so with dignity and respect, for those are the hallmarks of our nation's fighting forces. Congratulations once again, and thank you for serving so faithfully. Brave and bold, follow me, Army Strong.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Soldier's Creed is a standard for all soldiers to live by. The Soldier's Creed helps soldiers understand that despite their very diverse backgrounds, all soldiers are warriors and members of a team. We invite all soldiers, both past and present, to stand and join us. As a distinguished honor graduate from Able Company 1st Battalion, 9th Infantry Regiment, Specialist Williamson leads the Army's newest infantryman in the Soldier's Creed.
The Soldier's Creed. I am an American soldier.
I'm an American soldier.
I am a warrior and member of a team.
I'm a warrior and member of a team.
I serve the people of the United States and live the Army values.
I serve the people of the United States and live the Army values.
I will always place the mission first.
I will always place the mission first.
I will never accept defeat.
I will never accept defeat.
I will never quit.
I will never quit.
I will never leave a fallen comrade.
I will never leave a fallen comrade.
I am disciplined. Disciplined and physically tough. Trained and proficient by warriors past and present.
I am disciplined, physically, mentally tough. Trained and efficient by warriors past and present.
I always maintain my arms, my equipment, and myself.
I always maintain my arms, my equipment, and myself.
I am an expert and I am a professional.
I am an expert and I am a professional.
I separate to deploy, engage, and destroy the enemy's United States of America and close combat.
I say ready to deploy, engage, destroy, and defend the United States of America and close combat.
I am a guardian of freedom and the American way of life.
I am a guardian of freedom and the American way of life.
I am an American soldier.
I am an American soldier.
Rock steady, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, as the soldiers pass to your front, we invite you to take pictures, but please remain in your seats. When the American flag passes your front, we ask that you rise and that the gentlemen remove their headgear. Once the American flag has passed your location, you may be seated. Additionally, we ask that you please remain in the stands until the band has completely left the field. The commander in chief for today's ceremony is Major Michelle Field from Del Bar, West Virginia. Now approaching the reviewing stand, the maneuver center of command led by Drum Major First Ron Bill Owens, commanded and directed by Captain Aaron Morris. Able Company, 1st Battalion, 9th Infantry Regiment is commanded by Captain Stephen Gosda from Collinville, Illinois. The platoon sergeant for 1st Platoon is Sergeant First Class Ron Drawneck from Lynchburg, Virginia. The platoon sergeant for 2nd Platoon is Sergeant First Class Tracy Amani from Marietta, Georgia. The platoon sergeant for 3rd Platoon is Sergeant First Class John Glover from Long Island, New York. The platoon sergeant for 4th Platoon is Sergeant First Class Daniel Thomas from Dixon, Tennessee. The first sergeant for Naval Company 1st Battalion, 9th Infantry Regiment is First Sergeant Brandon Reed from Clarksville, Tennessee. The color sergeant is Staff Sergeant Joshua Huffman from Vail, North Carolina. Delta Company 2nd Battalion, 9th Infantry Regiment is commanded by Captain Michael Derrick from Nashville, Illinois. The platoon sergeant for 1st Platoon is Sergeant First Class Jeffrey Carter from Boston, Massachusetts. The platoon sergeant for 2nd Platoon is Sergeant First Class Brandon Kramer from St. Paul, Alaska. Platoon sergeant for 3rd Platoon is Sergeant First Class Larry Leonard from Rantoul, Illinois. The platoon sergeant for 4th Platoon is Sergeant First Class Daniel Brewer from Ashburn, Virginia.
Real Sammy!
The first sergeant for Delta Company, 2nd Battalion, 9th Infantry Regiment is First Sergeant Benjamin Powell from Greenwood, Indiana. Fighter Company, 2nd Battalion, 54th Infantry Regiment is commanded by Captain Joseph Nye from Hampton, New Hampshire. The platoon sergeant for 1st Platoon is Staff Sergeant George Marrero from Belize, Florida. The platoon sergeant for 2nd Platoon is Staff Sergeant Simons from Virginia Beach, Virginia. The platoon sergeant for 3rd Platoon is Staff Sergeant Paul Cameron from Virginia Beach, Virginia. The platoon sergeant for 4th Platoon is Sergeant First Class Whippet Ogujic from Newington, Connecticut. The first sergeant for Fighter Company 2nd Battalion, 54th Infantry Regiment is First Sergeant Christopher Lyons from Wilmington, Delaware. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand as the band plays the Army song. today's graduation ceremony. You may now join your soldiers in the formation area.